Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on Hot Mic with Lady She podcast. I'm your host, Miss Shanice LeBird. We're gonna just tap right in. I love this lady. This is the woman who pushed me. When I say push me, as she would call it, my book baby. She birthed me. She ain't birthed me now. She ain't birthed me. The seed was already there. But she did my Lamaze classes. She did everything I needed to do to have a healthy baby, and it's still going to this day. To thank you, Father. It's God, and it's Rekesha. But I'm thankful that I'm still shipping this book out weekly, and it's because this young lady right here. Just a little background. I actually wrote my book after having a car accident, so I just want to tap that for a second. Sometimes when because God loves us, even in our disobedience, He will have things transpire to push you. Okay. So while I was in pain, crawling out the bed and everything, I said, Rekesha ain't playing with me. I gotta get these words in. I gotta get 250 words in. Like, she was on us. She was like, listen, this is what you're giving me this day. I need to see this. I need to see that, because she don't do bootleggery. And there's a funny thing about that story. I'm going to let her share that. But first, thank you so much, Miss Rekesha Pittman, for coming on Hot Mic with Lady She. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to talk about authorship with you.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. Listen, I tagged people. I sent out blasts to people that I know have the gift to write. I sent this flyer to people that I know came to me about writing books. And because I don't do fakery, let me say that, I'm making up my own words now. Hello. Because I don't do fakery, I'm not going to take someone's money if I'm not gifted in something, or if I'm not educated in something, or if I've done it just one time. I'm not going to take your money because you like me. I'm going to direct it to someone who is not going to hurt you, who's going to teach you the difference between what's happening out there. Because there's a lot of stuff, guys. It's really bad. It's really bad. It's actually hurtful to watch, people take advantage of people. And this woman of God, God strategically brought me to her through a dance ministry. Amen.
Yeah.
We came to Texas through my church, Deeper Life. We have our Flames of Fire dance ministry, and we are under the umbrella of 10, which is the training. This is the dance training here in Long Island, New York, but it's a whole big entity, Eagles International Training Institute, where we all took this course. It was amazing. When I tell you, this thing changed my life. To this day, I get chills thinking about the praise that was in that room. And they had an authorship course, and I was like, I'm going. And I got there late, and she does what she does. She's efficient. And I just like kind of raised my hand the last minute. I was like, hi, yes, so I just want to write a book. What do I do? She was like, write the book. I was like, oh, okay then. Took her class. And when I tell you, she pushed me to the end. She's like, I am not going to give up on you. And when I tell you, we became such a family, and some of us went through really traumatic things, and she pushed us. She prayed with us. She talked to us. She spoke into our life. And I always bring up every episode. I ask people questions about environment, and I want Rekesha also to tap into that. But your environment is so vital to your mindset. Amen. Like, please catch that thing. Your environment is so vital to your mindset. What you continue to repeat for yourself, your affirmations, your prayers, the things you pour into yourself, the things other people say to you that attach to you matters in how you operate in the daily. So, everybody, Miss Rekesha Pittman, just jump right in, tell us about you. She has accolades, honey, so I'm gonna let her tell you about her background. Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Get right. I am Rekesha Pittman, affectionately known as the Midwife to over 500 authors worldwide. And one of my notable quotables is, once you become an author, you can never become unauthorized.
Yeah.
Authorship changes you. Once you print that, you leave a piece of yourself here forever. As long as your work can be accessed, it's going to impact someone's life. And when you talked about environment, one of the things I tell people look for the perfect time to write, or you think that you have to be happy to write, or you think that things have to go well to write, or you think that you need a lot of money to write. No, what I say is you cause your environment to line up with your assignment. You do
Ooh,
not
say it.
you don't wait for conditions. You call for the conditions to come into order, right? So
Yes.
that means if there's distractions, you say, hey, I need no distractions, or you separate yourself from the distraction, or you remove the distractions from your environment. But just like giving birth, why they call me the midwife, you have to take anything out of the environment that would cause infection or interruption. And those are the choices we have to make. So don't think that you have to be perfect. Don't think that you even have to be a writer. What you need is a story, and
Yeah.
what you need is content. And as long as you have that, you can write a book.
Right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So, just give us a little background, your education, how you got to this point where you became bold enough to say, listen, I don't just have the gift, but God has pushed me to help other people, push them into their gifting. So, just tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, I kind of say I'm a creative scholar. So I'm a nerd, but I'm also somebody who likes to create things, right? So I've always loved to write poetry, songs, plays. I started out as a playwright, actually, and
Love it.
I had productions that were staged. So when I went to the University of Southern California Trojans, right on, yes,
Do it.
I chose to major in English with a creative writing focus, which makes me a trained writer. And the reason why I say that is because I know the difference between fiction, nonfiction, and what constitutes poetry. We'll not go down that rabbit hole right now, but there is an art to the craft. So this gave me a unique edge as a writer. So for years, I published newsletters. Like she said, I was part of the arts, right? So I published newsletters about dance. I used my writing skill that way, but I went to corporate America. Somewhere around 2010, I decided to publish this devotional. It was I'm an overachiever, admittedly. It was a 365-day devotional called Company Keepers, right? So I
Okay.
thought people were going to finally see that I'm this fantastic writer. But surprisingly, they looked at my work and said, who is your publisher? This is fantastic.
Mm,
How to publish. And it was overwhelming. So I didn't look for publishing. Publishing came and snatched me. Publishing
love it.
grabbed me. So it was the passion that I had that met publishing that turned into profit. So I did not look for this to turn a profit. The profit chased me down. So I was able to host my first writing workshop in November of 2010, and it took off from
Come
there.
on.
Oh my goodness, but I did the work. So when I say I did the work, I did like a college student. I read industry books on publishing, what was required, exactly how to do it. I didn't go look at someone else's offering, course, style. And from that, I was able to put together a systematic process that has worked. If you follow it, it works, it works, it works. But what happens is we have a bootleggery mentality.
Come on.
Bootleggery
Help
mentality.
somebody.
Back in the day, don't try to guess my age. There were people who were on either with music or movies. And there was something kind of fuzzy about that case in the corner market. And there was something kind of fuzzy about that DVD that they were selling. And when you popped it in, something wasn't quite right. Well, it was because they just took a copy of someone else's work and style and they tried to turn a profit. It does not lead to wealth. It does not lead to riches.
Come on.
Right? The people who make the money are those who invest in a project and get it back. So that's what I came on the scene to do. And investing doesn't mean you need to be rich. It doesn't mean you need to overspend, but it does mean that you need a strategic plan to get to a well put together, excellent book.
Right. Right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So now you're in corporate America, you're writing, and you realize people see your gifting. So now, how do you get to the point where you're like, okay, let me learn how to help others? Or when did God speak to you and say, I know you're supposed to be doing A, B, and C? Like when? It was in 2010. It was like suddenly.
Yes, because I got so many requests. That's the thing. Like so
Gotcha.
you know how now we try to market to a certain audience? It literally chased me down. I wasn't thinking about doing this. I didn't come up with this as a money grab or a career.
Right.
But it got so popular that I was able to sustain a
I love
full-time
it.
income because of the amount of people that it worked for. Not just some type of information that how you sign up for stuff and like you don't actually watch the videos and do all that. It was structured so that we would get to a printed and digital version of the book with accountability. And I believe that that's what made the method work for so many people.
Absolutely. That's what had me stuck, because I tell you, when people ask me about that time writing a book, I'm like, listen, stuff was going on. Like, I was going through it. It was so many times I'm like, okay, I'm not good enough. I'm like, this lady want me to write how many words? Wait, what? And she was telling me to keep writing, what does keep writing mean? Like, what does that mean? And she pushed me. That's why I said in the, when I post, I said she pushed me to my greatness, because I've never been the same as a writer. Like, even though I'm not a publisher today, because I took the course. Come on in here. Come on in here. I still assist other people in writing. I'm like, listen, this is what you do. This is what you do. I'm like, well, listen, take her course. I'm telling you, she will walk you through everything. If you have questions in reference to, contracts, she's going to let you know, like, listen, everybody's trying to get money right now. I don't have to do that. Okay. I actually want to help you and push you to your greatness, so you can have something authentic. You can have something that you can be proud of. And I had shared before that, people, after I wrote my book, because I didn't tell anybody. I just did it. Certain people knew because they were on that trip with us, but they didn't know what was actually happening to me and for me. So when it came about, it was a thing of, oh, well, I have a story too. I want to write my book. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, do A, B, and C, or, take Rekesha's called A, B, and C. And, well, how much was it? Oh, well, this is what you had to do? Oh, okay, well then. And then it's ghost, and then they just put their book out, and it's a mess.
Right.
I'm like, and it didn't have to be that way. Why do people do that? I don't get it.
Because I think that we don't consider the actual impact. I think about my grandchildren picking up my book, and are they going to be embarrassed, or are they going to be proud?
Say it.
Are we thinking about that?
Come on.
Are we thinking about the quality of work? It really speaks to how you want to be seen personally, and how you want to represent your larger family, culture, all of that. Right. How do you want to be perceived? We do not pay a lot for trash.
Come on in here.
So I believe that some people think that they're authors, and what they did was they printed paper.
Come on.
Because writing is a craft. And I want to encourage you, because I don't want you to think that I'm an elitist, okay? You do not have to be the world's best writer. You don't even have to be great. What we need is good content.
Yeah.
What we need is strategic. This is why you need a team. So when you know that you didn't get all A's in English, please do not count yourself out. However, it means you need to reinforce what you may not be as strong in. So you'll need an editor. You'll need a team of proofreaders. You'll need someone to look at your structure and make sure it's good. From the foundation, make sure that the outline that you have is going to result in the type of book that you want. So what happens is some people just start writing, and you can tell. There was no plan. They just started writing. There's all kinds of grammatical errors, lots of repetitious stuff. And you think, you know what, I'm going to save money. No, what happens is you won't reach people.
Right.
People's time is important. So
if
they're going to invest hours of their life into your book, I write the type of books I want people to get to the last page. I don't want people to pick up my book and go through a few pages and say, this is not worth my time. And that's what happens when we put out products, or we put out works that we don't care. We just think if we throw it out there, we're going to hit the bestseller list.
Mm-hmm. Or we think because we ourselves. People, it's so funny. It's so funny. I've had to tell a few people, I'm like, listen, I love you, but just because you're you doesn't mean somebody's going to support you. You got to put yourself out there. It has to look like something. It has to be, attractive to the eye. It has to have people like, oh wow, well let me go see what that is. Because I remember even with my, my cover.
Oh, honey.
Child, look, I was thank you,
Lord, Rekesha. I will stop you in your tracks.
She was like, Shanice.
No.
Yeah, no. I was like, a graphic designer gave me this. She was like, okay. I have someone. She was like,
that's what people think. People think that because someone tells you they can do graphics, that they're a book cover designer. It's all an art.
Not true. Yeah.
It's not. And I love graphic designers and artists, but let me say this. If you're going to take people's money to design books, then you probably should take a trip to the bookstore so that you can see what's trending, just like any other industry. What's current? what fonts
Right.
are current, what styles are current, what textures. Graphic designers should be able to tell you what options you have in terms of how you're going to put that product out. But they don't. What they're doing is saying, pay me X amount of dollars and I'm going to give you something that you could not see in the bookstore. And it's not right.
It's not. It's not, because I was like, seriously? And then I promise you, when she said what she said to me, I was meditating. I said, okay, God, I need this book to pop because not everybody's writing about this. This is personal to me. I know you said it's gonna reach the man. I was like going hard with that thing, and then I sent her what I sent her. She sent it to him, and I was in tears when I saw my book cover because that thing was like this. And it
Yeah.
made so much sense. It made so much sense because when we go to the bookstore, the first thing we do, we look at it, we're like, "Ooh, wow!" And we turn it to the back.
Yeah.
Rekesha made it. Rekesha
Exactly.
said, "Listen, I need a professional photo of you in the back." And
Oh,
I
yes.
promise you, other people who I said to go try to help them out, look crazy. I'm like, Jesus, and I'm
See,
like,
well,
and I'm looking like, I know you're better than this, but you're not a good listener. You're gonna hurt for it, and it didn't have to go that way. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But so talk to us about when you started Get Right. First of all, if you can, well, I'm
mhm.
sure you can. Um Tell us about there's one of the masterful class. First of all, tell the people the titles of your books because this one, when I tell you she got away with words, man, I just be like, who are you? What are you? Like, her book titles make so much sense. Like the covers, I'm just like, she is gifted. Like, who's not going to pay her to do this thing because she has it. She has it. Talk to us a little bit about the books that you do have out um from the beginning. And
Ooh.
I would love for you to tap into EITI as well because I met some amazing people from just being in her class, and they're doing so great. Like, we follow them on Facebook, and some of them are just excelling so crazy, and I know it's from what she's planted. So kind of tap into that, in reference to your books.
I've published 15, but I'll try to do the hits. Like,
Okay.
every song you put out there does not necessarily chart, but you put them out there. When I
Right,
think
right.
about Prince and things like that, they created so many songs, but they released a few. So my first book was in the arts, and it was Company Keepers Dance Ministry Daily. It was a 365-day devotional. Because this is what I tell everybody, because so many people started asking me about publishing, then I wrote Get Right Church. So I started writing books where I was in demand, and that's
Got
what I
you.
think people miss.
Mm-hmm.
Are they asking you for it? Are
Come
if,
on.
if you keep getting asked questions, so that's what prompts my book. If I keep getting asked questions, so of course I've written out. I won't go by too many details, but multiple books in the arts, multiple books in the arts because I'm an educator. I'm a teacher trainer. That's what I do. So I've
Right.
written multiple books in the arts. I've also written multiple books about publishing. And so this is one thing I learned from John C. Maxwell, right?
Love it.
If just because I wrote a book about publishing doesn't mean you stop there. So you think because you wrote one book that you can't go deeper. So I wrote a general book to the faith-based community, which is a different idea than the mainstream. So then the book after that was mainstream, ABCs of authorship,
Love it.
because I was in demand in both the faith-based and the mainstream.
Come
I
on.
so people would say, oh, Rekesha, they would ask me all these questions. I did Book Publishing Master Plan as an FAQ book. It was actually, and this is what I want to say, sometimes you think you have to start from the beginning. I repurposed this. This wasn't a workshop. I took the
Wow.
slides from my workshop, elaborated on them. Each was a page, and it turned into Book Publishing Master Plan, which is a thin book. Now, mind you, remember I said my first book was 371 pages. 44. And I use this almost as a giveaway. So instead of selling it, when I would go speak about publishing, I gave it away. And I got so many clients doing that. People
Love
ask me
it.
to get speaking engagements. So I wrote 7 ways to get speaking engagements. And guess what? I also write under a pen name. So if you feel like
Explain what
you
that
have,
is. Explain what that is.
okay, so if you feel like you have content outside of your brand,
Catch it, people. Catch it.
I am a writer. So
Right.
there was sometimes you feel limited because if you are in the faith-based, and I've done both, but if you're in faith-based, people have a certain idea about you, and sometimes they don't let you assess that. So
Come
I
on in here. Help
Who is it?
somebody.
I picked a pen name that I write under that is a different persona that I can get some of my other comedic writing out
Love it.
that is not necessarily marketable to the author speaker brand that I
Gotcha.
have built over the years. So if I'm talking about the arts, I talk about the arts to that audience. If I talk about writing and speaking, to that audience. And if I want to write comedically, then there's a whole nother audience that we can appreciate on TikTok
Say it. Say
under
it.
an assumed name.
Love it. Love it. Listen, that's dope. That I love that. That is listen, you gotta pay attention. What I find to be important what that you said is, on demand and being trendy and people seeing this and you being current. That's what'll give you different bags. So I
Yeah.
love that you said just because you wrote one book doesn't mean you can't step into other avenues. And that's one of the things I feel like, come on, Holy Ghost. Come
Yes.
on in here, God. I feel like I kind of like not purposefully, naturally. And that's why you speak to other people who are in certain areas because I was telling myself, okay, well, this book has to be, connected to this because I already wrote this one. And no, that's not true. If that's where God is taking you to, because literally even today before I got on this thing, somebody said, get your ebook ready. Where's your this? I'm waiting for you. Like you said, people waiting for you, and
Yes.
you like this. What do I do now? You gotta jump in there and learn this thing. So thank you so much. You just helped me, okay? Come on, Jesus. Come on,
And I
Jesus.
say work produces work. I always say that.
Woo!
So sometimes, and let me encourage those of you with perfection. I always say that, perfectionism leads to procrastination. Excellence
Say it.
leads to implementation. Stop worrying about being perfect and choose excellence. Choose excellence.
Love it.
Books are revised for a reason. There are revised editions for a reason. Just get your first one out. And even if you have, get your next one out. The more
Yeah.
you write, the better you become, and you almost find your way. Tyler Perry's first stage play was probably not his best. It's okay. The comics' first time on stage is probably not their best. It's okay, but you have to get there. And you have
Yeah.
to keep getting there. And then you go from amateur to professional. And it's fine. Allow yourself the avenue, right?
Yes.
To do that. And don't let anybody tell you that you are confined to one lane. I don't like stay in your lane. You know that. I'm anti-stay in your lane.
Say it.
You
Ow!
know, my quote for that is stay in your lane is aimed at those who choose to remain bound to the ground.
Come
There are
on.
no lanes in the sky when you fly. And I believe that that is key, that we live in a society that one invention can change our whole existence. One pandemic changed our reality. One
Come on.
invention or social media platform can change your whole existence. I don't think we're in the old way. I think
Right.
time can actually speed up where you can pivot quickly and discover a place to be. When we look at people like Steve Harvey, I say that
Mm-hmm.
it's a core talent. I believe in core talents versus purpose. And your core talent is that one thing that people always ask, and you can't escape it, you can't run from it, you might not even like it. That will help somebody. But it's that one thing people keep asking you for, and some of you resent it because you didn't learn how to turn your talent into treasure.
Come on in here.
So you resent it because you keep giving it away, and now you feel like people are using you instead of using it as a clue to
Yes.
invest in that talent and allow it to make it easy for you to do it on a regular basis.
Absolutely. Something you just said too reminded me something you said years ago. You said you need to learn, when it's time to do something for free and when it's time for you to get paid for it. She said because people will try to tell you to do, oh, you can do this for free, right? You can do this for free, right? And you got to be like, hold on, no, I can do that for free, but I can't do that for free.
Yes.
So that's the other thing too. Tap into that a little bit.
Information I share, implementation I charge for.
Love
And I
it.
think that's the difference. That if people do not know what you do, they don't know to come to you. They don't know to invest in you. So information, like we're giving information now, you have information. But the implementation is the course, like people invest in. It's the book.
Right.
It's your time. It's what you invest in that, the implementation process. So it's not, oh, I have this big secret. No, it's work. And so if you're pulling on me for work. People always want to get me in the inbox and get free advice. Well, no, like I don't expect that from people.
Right.
Because I understand the power of investing in yourself, but you can't have a mentality that you want to tap into someone's genius that they labored for, and you're not going to invest something. At least invest in their book on Amazon.
How about that?
Do something. Sowing and reaping
How about
works.
that?
It does. You give, you get what you give.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
If you're teaching people how to do something and you're investing time, then there should be a reward on the effort.
Absolutely. You just help somebody, because I'm telling you, these people will free. I'm like, everybody's trying to make a living, my dear. We can't do everything for free. Take what we do for free and be grateful, but we can't do everything for free.
Yes.
Amen.
People who live in abundance already know that they invest in themselves.
Right.
And that's the thing. They've paid great money to be in the spaces and the places that they're in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, talk to us about how, share with us maybe like a story that sticks out connected to, you helping people become authors. Like, was there like a significant class that, you were like, I will never forget this particular thing. It changed me since then, or, give us something.
I will say that this has taught me how to have such empathy for people. I am honored. I've had several authors with cerebral palsy, legally blind, going through cancer, houses burned down, lost their parents, went through divorce, these life-changing moments. And I always say publishing comes by discipline, not by inspiration. Right. These life-changing things, people who didn't graduate from high school, people with only a 6th grade education. And it's not really until I get to hear them stand up and tell their stories about what it took to get there. This is why I say you don't have an excuse. You have to make a decision, right?
That's it.
That's what sticks out to me. One of the examples is I had she was 18 years old, cerebral palsy. She came to me and she was like, I really want to take your class, but I don't have the money. Now, please don't come to me and say that, because I always say, never say I don't have it. Always ask, how can I get it?
Come on.
Her, what do you have? She said, I have a guitar. It's sitting in my garage. Do you know that she sold that guitar to make her first investment, never missed a payment after that, went on to publish multiple books, and then speaking. She is contracted.
Come on.
Speak in churches to young people using her books. It's not about the money, you all. It is
no
about
excuses.
The mentality. It is literally about whatever dream, vision, project that you have. Don't look at your bank account. Go to I say it all the time. What do you have? And take what you have. Sometimes there are people who will invest in you if you have been a good example, or people see potential in you. They'll invest in you, or you can find a way to do it. You do not need to know how much you have. You just need to know what it takes.
Yes.
And once you come into contact with someone who has done miraculous monetary things, it changes your ability to get things done. Sometimes that's what you need. It's not about the money. It's about the method to be able to fund anything that you want to do. There are people who publish books who've gone on to own businesses because their mentality about what they could access changed. So please stop thinking it's about the money. It really is a change of your mindset.
Love it. That thing was hard. That thing right there. That is absolutely the one, because that is the first thing, people think. And it's natural response. You know what I mean? When you want to do something and you see the number, especially if you don't have it. Okay. So what you planted there changed her forever, because she realized, I probably will never say that phrase again, because I know I can find a way to get what I need. Absolutely. First of all, it's not about me. It's to bless other people, and she's doing that. God be knowing. When I tell you God be knowing, he be knowing.
And he already gave you what you needed. People have baked lemon bars. People have, it's something that they already had. People have sold popcorn. It's something that you already have the ability to do. Not that's outside of your ability, but what are you willing to do to get to your dream?
Yes, absolutely.
Woo! And it's not cutting corners. It's not cutting corners.
That's not.
It's not saying I don't need an editor, because I have an English degree and I need an editor.
Say that. So now, talk to people about, not giving away too much, because we want didn't take the course. But when it comes to having a team,
Mhm.
I tell people all the time, and this is, come on, Jesus, really? He smacked me all upside my daggone head. Like, I can't win a night. He all over me. He's like, this is for you. Speak to us about having a team and how do you build it? Because I know my biggest thing is, when I think of having a team, I think of people that I'm praying with, people
Mhm.
that I'm brainstorming with, people that I'm having Zoom meetings with, and I'm saying, okay, what do you have this week? What do you have going on? What's this? What are we doing for this? Try to give us a picture of what that's like in the world of Rekesha, because you've helped 500 people with
Yes.
authorship. So what does
Right.
that look like?
You can either get a team of supporters or you can get a team that you pay for. Either way,
Mm. Explain that
publishing
one.
is a team effort. You are not the designer and the editor and the formatter, even though I teach my authors how to source. I'll put it like
Mhm.
that. How to make sure that you're getting what you need. But you're not all of that. You
Right.
absolutely need a team. So either you pick some smart people who love you, who can help give you input on, yes, this is good, I don't understand it. It's almost like test marketing. It's a business. Book publishing is a small business, and it can be
Right.
a very lucrative business, but it's a small business, so you have to look at it like that. You test market. You get people to read your stuff, more than one person. Let them give their feedback so that you can make sure you're not missing anything. Even as a writer, I went through writers workshops. I do the same thing with my work today. Did you understand it? Was it clear? Was
Right.
there a piece that was unclear? And then I can go back and tweak my work before it goes to the editor. When I say before, what happens is people just spit out a manuscript, don't even spell check, and send it to an editor, and then get mad when they get quoted thousands of dollars to fix it.
Yes. Yep. I've
You know,
seen it. I've
so
seen it.
either you get a team of supporters and you take a course like Get Right University to
Mhm.
get that done, or you go and pay someone to help project manage your
Mhm.
book for you, and then they will go and find. I've done it both ends. I do the course and project management of books. They go and find your editor, your cover designer, and they guide you through the whole process. But either way, you absolutely need a team of people.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you think is one of the biggest things that people kind of get scammed with when it comes to trying to write a book? Because and it's not taken away from anybody, but some of the book bootleggery that I've seen, people can't wait to say, "I'm self-published, I'm self-published, I'm self-published." I'm like, but it looks like it. It looks
Yeah.
bad, you
They
know.
get they get scammed with people who are really not even great proofreaders who claim to be editors. And I can just flip through the book and catch 10 typos. And I'm like, this is not edited. Yes,
Yeah,
no, it's not. They
yeah,
also get scammed in formatting because people say they're publishers. Hey, there's different types of formatting depending on the type of book. Fiction and nonfiction are not the same format. So I can
right.
open it up immediately and go, hey, this is a nonfiction book with a fiction formatting. This is not right. There is actually
Well,
a standard. They don't know because what
right.
happens is they're taking the money. They go online and find a template. I don't use
Come
templates.
on in here.
I
Come
create
on.
templates that actually work. They go find a template that's probably 25 years old. I've been doing this a long time. And they
Mhm.
just paste in there and they think it works. That's not the template for what you're trying to do. So I see that in formatting, uneven edges instead of it being justified. The page is not starting in the right place.
Yep.
You
Seen
you're
that.
you're mislabeling parts of your book, or you have parts that you don't need for your book. The content, how you actually sell that writing on the back. There's an actual strategy to getting people to open up the book. It's not compelling. Oh my gosh, so many
Yeah,
different things where you have
a
to
lot.
holistically approach it, or you're wasting your money. You can't get a return on your investment, and then you need a makeover
Jesus, which means you're going to spend more money than
to
you
fix it.
anxious to do.
Right.
Ooh, help us, help us,
It's
help
like
us.
not taking a car to the mechanic and then it breaks down and you wonder why. Well, you didn't get your however many point inspection
Yeah, exactly. Come
before
on,
you
you got to
drove
do the
off.
work. You have to do the work. That is for
Yes.
sure. So okay, so if I don't, all right, I'm saying I have a story. Things happen to me. I want people to hear it because God is telling me that I have a testimony. I want to touch the people. What would you say to me? And I'm saying, okay, I want to write. You just gonna say take the course? Like, what are you gonna tell me?
It's definitely, do I ask people, do you have an audience for this? And it doesn't diminish
Right.
you all. And please don't think I'm anti-biography or anti-autobiography, but we didn't care about certain people until they achieved success in
Come
an area.
on. Yeah.
There are social media personalities who, once they hit $1 million, then people wanted to know their story. This is
Come
not to
on.
encourage you. Unless, and I'll say this, unless, and please, somebody else may tell you something different, but you'll see when you don't sell any books that I was telling you the truth. Unless you have an extraordinary story, like people who were there to see the George Floyd incident.
Yeah.
A book, it's a mark in time where there is
Mm.
an interest. You can capitalize on that, right?
Absolutely.
But most people are not, I don't want to say it like that. Most people's stories are not remarkable in terms of it being that different
Got you.
from someone else. So if you just want to write it as a record for your family, okay. But what I'm saying is, don't have unrealistic expectations if there is no audience, or you have not built something significant enough for people to take interest in
Right.
your personal story, which
Right.
is why I started out with how-to books.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay.
Maybe
That
they're
makes sense.
interested in you, but they first help them. People want to know what's in it for them. I helped them, and then they were interested in learning about
Everybody wants something.
something.
Everybody
Fiction
wants
sells
something.
the best. So I would say fiction sells the best. But
Right.
what type of fiction, and what are you willing to write to get there? I mean, there's some work out there that I'm like, ooh, couldn't have been me, but I'm glad you're making your millions.
Okay. Say that. Say that. Yes. All right. So what? Okay. Like I don't want to put my foot down. Me and you will talk later about. Yeah, we'll talk later. But like I said, I have people coming to me about publishing. And of course, I'm sending them to you. But what is next for Miss Rekesha Pittman that we should know about? Oh no! Before you do that, talk to the people about how you do engagements where you travel and bring people with you. What's that about?
Oh my gosh. Well,
All over.
oh, everywhere. Oh gosh. If there should be someone. I always say this about it, for people who believe and call themselves Christians, right? Jesus said, "Follow me."
Yeah.
If you have good news, there's somebody who is
Mm.
going to want to hear it. Do not tell me nobody supports you.
Come
Do not
on.
tell me nobody seems to. What good news have you delivered that has compelled people
Yeah.
to say, I've got to be where they are? That's what I'm
Come on.
talking about. It's not even about a marketing or branding situation. I'm saying, do you change people, atmospheres, circumstances, mindsets when you come into the environment? If you do that, there is no reason that people are not willing to come with you. So anytime I go somewhere, somebody's going to show up, not because I think I'm amazing. It's because I have something that they need.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, whether you are in person or speaking or your book. Please, it has to be something people need, not what you think they need, but what you already know, because people keep asking. People kept asking for healing because they know he can do it.
Come on in here.
That's
Come
what I'm
on.
saying to you. And please, please, I'm passionate, so that's what you're hearing.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. What is it? If people keep asking you for it and you deliver that, you will actually be like, where these people come from?
Yeah. Come
You
on,
know?
Rekesha.
So if people are not willing to follow you, then just do a reevaluation, please. Because maybe you're trying to emulate something you've seen, and people did it in the Bible too, but that's not
Help
necessarily what
somebody.
they want from you. That's not what they want from you. I remember in the arts, talking about that. In the arts, when I first started out, I'm a natural choreographer and I'm a natural dancer. I can pick up on stuff like that. However, when I went into the leadership phases, I had to get formal training, right? So what happened was my choreography shifted because you could see me trying to force formal movement. One of my bestest friends said, Rekesha, that's nice, but that's not what we love about your ministry.
Come on in here, friend.
So I had to use this vocabulary words like we do and don't use them out of place. I had to make sure I was being authentic. And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about leadership and getting people to follow. Learn the technique, but be authentic.
Ooh,
Keep your
that's the
voice,
word.
but you need to apply the methods because the respect. That's what you want. You want to open up more doors. You want platforms so that you can reach more people, not so that you can be popular and say how many followers you have. It
Right.
literally is about your reach. How many people can you bring this good news to?
Mm-hmm. Love it, love it, love it. So how was the transition from, being in the arts, explain, because that's how her and I were connected through the dance ministry.
Mhm.
But how was a transition where you realized, like, okay, God is taking me this way into authorship? Dance is my heart. Dance is something, because those who don't know anything about dancing is a soul thing. Like, it's
Yes.
something that you feel. You can't buy it. That dancing, I feel, has saved my life. Writing and dancing, singing, and writing. Rather, that's what I did as a young kid. So it's spiritual. It's your connection with, especially liturgical. We're talking about dancing in church and things like that. So how did you get to the place where you like, God is absolutely, I hear you're absolutely calling me to go to the next level in writing, because this is not just for me, it's for the masses. Like, what did you hear him say? What was the moment? Or do
I
you
think
remember?
I think it was always there. And I'm saying this for somebody in particular. In church, we are often taught to choose. And what I'm saying
Mm,
is choose one line to stand in. So I've always had the creative ability to write. However, dance was in demand because I wasn't sharing the writing. I had the ability though, right?
yeah.
So even though I had the ability to do all of these things in church, they want you to do what gives them the spiritual feel goods. So
Come
sometimes
on.
people will keep you in that zone because that's where they met you. That's where they're comfortable with you. It's always been there from the beginning as a teacher trainer. Remember, that is my core talent. I started doing it through books. I did it through a formal professional Christian dance company that had
Come
a
on.
location. I was always teaching and training. When I found out what my gift is and my calling is, then that just shows up everywhere that I am. It's like Joseph. I
Come
have this
on.
administrative gift. So whether you put me in the palace, Potiphar's house, whether I go before Pharaoh, it's the same
It's
thing.
the same
It's the
thing.
same. So that's what I'm saying. It really wasn't a change. It was a different expression of the same spirit. It was a different expression of the same talent, which is teaching and training. I use dance ministry to teach and train. I use authorship as teaching and training. When we do business, I teaching and training, speaking, teaching and
Yes.
training. That's what it is. I have the ability to break things down in a way that people can replicate and implement. And that's what it is
Yes.
in a nutshell. That's what it is.
Love it. Listen. Listen.
So
If
don't
y'all
feel
don't get
guilty
these
about your
jewels,
purpose.
listen. If y'all don't get these jewels and catch these nuggets, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. All right. So we have Get Right Publishing.
Yes.
What is next? We have
Yeah.
go down the line of the different ones. I know you had
You're right.
Even
University.
Authors,
Yes.
Get Right University. Give them the lineup
Yes. And from that,
and
this
what they are. I'm sorry, and what they are.
yes, Get Right Publishing is the consultant part. When I talk about the team, I'm a project manager with Get Right Publishing, right? Get Right University is where people actually go through the steps. Like I did before, it's my curriculum. So people go through the steps and out comes a book and it's in a group setting.
Right.
I got a word from the Lord that told me, don't get pigeonholed into publishing. I was like, oh.
Well,
So that's how the East formula, as you see, entrepreneur, author, speaker, trainer, right?
let's
That's
go.
how the East formula was born because I talk about book publishing being a small business. However, that can be educator, author, speaker, trainer, executive, author, speaker, trainer. It's discovering, number one, what is it that you're solving? What problem are you solving? That's what entrepreneurs do. Educator, executive, whatever.
Right.
What are you solving? Then from that, develop a book linked to the problem you solve. Choose speaking topics linked to your book and the problem you solve, and then develop training programs like my courses, right? Tie it together because then that way you have this cycle all related to the same subject matter that creates opportunities for you all year long.
Right.
That's what the East One does, and it works in any industry.
Love
Any
it.
So that's how I have housed, because I couldn't figure out, like, I'm doing all these different things. That's how I housed everything together so that it makes good sense.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. No, it absolutely makes good sense. Absolutely. So when we see Rekesha Pittman, who's traveling, she's pouring into so many people. She's literally changing lives because this changed my life. This changed things for my son, who the book was about. Now oh, that's him. Now it's, oh, well, what's he doing now? And people want to know who he is, and people want to know what's happening, what's next for us. You know, how is that? You have a daughter.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable, y'all gotta see this
Woo.
little girl. You gotta see this little girl. How was it, raising a daughter and her seeing her mom in this light? What kind of young lady is she becoming before your eyes?
She is immensely talented and intuitive, introspective, and an encourager. And I know where she got that from. She is an encourager. She tells me all the time, "You're the best mommy ever. You are
Woo!
such an
Yes.
amazing entrepreneur." I love, and she looks at my books, and literally, I have this shelf that I display not only the works of the authors that I've helped. People talk about my bookcase, right? But then
Mhm.
my works too. She constantly sees the standard in front of
Love
her,
it.
and so I am raising her with, she can't use words like hard.
Hmm.
It's a challenge, but it's not hard. So
Right.
I see her, she's written music.
Right. I
she,
saw
she
that.
she's in demand as a singer. You all, churches ask her to virtually now because of the pandemic,
Hmm.
but she
Hmm.
has virtually sung for churches. She speaks. She's amazingly talented, and so I am helping her in cultivating her business
Right.
as she continues to grow in what she wants to do in terms of Get Right Kids.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Listen, are y'all paying attention? I need y'all to pay attention to how God is moving and just the giftings, and just when he speaks, she's making moves. I want the mother who's like saying, "Oh well, I'm a mom, I'm not gonna be able to have time, I'm gonna do." Listen, Rakisha was not playing. She said, "Get everybody on board in your
And
household so you can have a certain time to write." And when
period.
people ask me about writing, I tell them the same exact thing because that's what she told me.
15
Hello.
minutes a day. I literally tell them 15 minutes a day, or a certain amount of words. It's not about time, it's about consistency. Just like
Yeah.
working out or anything else, what you do consistently shows up. People keep thinking it's that. It's not. It takes focus. It's not time.
Right.
Okay, my pseudonym book, I literally wrote in 24 hours. I stayed up, I wrote a whole outline and banged out 100 and something pages in 24 hours because I had a great outline. It was the focus. So I stayed up all night and I wrote the book. It wasn't how long it took, it was how long I stayed focused there.
Mhm.
I cleaned it up, sent it to the editor, and that book was done. Now,
Come
all books
on.
don't come out like that, like songs or
Right.
anything else. Can we stop putting repeaters on? Some books are going to labor. It's like childbirth. You know how some women say the baby just came right out,
Hmm.
and then some people say I was in labor and it was painful. It's the same thing with books. Please stop comparing. Don't even compare other people. Stop comparing yourself to yourself.
Ooh,
But the
that's good.
bottom line is they all had a delivery date. And
Yeah.
we understood when to expect it. But we keep thinking we can push that back. If you hold on to something for too long, you risk its life.
Ooh, she's talking to me, child. Ouch.
Seriously. So some of your
Well.
books, literally, I'm sorry, they were practice runs, but if you publish it, it's not going to do what you thought because you held it too long.
Mm.
Some books are going to take longer because the bigger house or project you build, it does take more workers and it does take a period of time. But honestly, we can admit with some of us, you know what, that it's out of
It's
season.
out of
And
season.
so you're not working on the book you're supposed to deliver because you are lamenting over the one you lost.
Woo.
Listen, it's okay.
Jesus.
Every script is not greenlit, every story, but there's something that you have. I think about Issa Rae and all these people. It sometimes it's not the right network, or sometimes it's not the right team, but or they try to, you have to tweak it until yes, that's authentic, that's
Hmm.
right, and then
Hmm.
you do it. So please forgive yourself from these false expectations
Yeah.
that you thought that's the way it's supposed to work. When what is it that you need to say now? I talk about that all the time. Now. So forget your yesterday sometimes, or if your book wasn't that great, if you've already published, let that be a practice to you and go
Hmm.
on to what is it that I need to say now?
Yeah. Oh, she all in my business. Seriously?
It'll help you move
Oh
forward.
yeah.
I
Oh
have
my
money on the
God.
books. Money on the books is practically done, but I put out something that needed to come. It was ready, And I didn't say, well, let me do money on the books first. No, no, it's ready to go. Let's put it out there.
Let's put it out there. She talking to you, somebody. She talking to me too. But I'm just saying, she talking to you as well.
Once you do it, you'll
Jesus.
do it again. Once you take all of that fear of the unknown out of it, you're like, do it again. If you have a great experience, the first roller coaster, you'll want the next roller coaster.
Right.
If you have a terrible experience, you won't want it again.
Right.
That's what I'm here to do. I want you to have such a wonderful experience that you want to do it again and again and again.
Yes. Listen here. Oh, she all in my business. I should have known that was going to happen. All right. So you have 500 authors who have come under you, under your tutelage, under your prayers, you know, your affirmations and all these things. You know, you mentioned that you did screenwriting.
Oh, I did playwriting.
Playwriting.
Yes,
so do you think that's something you would tap into again?
It's possible. I've done playwriting. I've also done stage management and production. I've lived this very, very interesting life of opportunities. I will say that. But it is definitely something I would think about. But at this moment, I am really interested in teaching training. The East Formula is a book that I'm going to write this year because Money on the Books is done. I'm just cleaning it up.
Okay.
The East Formula I need to focus on. And that's the book that I have to. I have to write because every time I release another book, it opens another door.
Come on in here. Help somebody. Come on in here.
Right.
Wow.
So I tell people either you have the audience or you write for where you want to go.
Got you. So what do you say to the person who's like, okay, I know I got this book in me. Okay, I'm gonna take Rekesha's course, but what do I do about people finding me? Like if I'm not like I always say computer savvy is not the right word. If I'm not like social media illiterate, you know, how do they find me besides me saying, hey, you want my book is on Amazon? Like how do they find me? You know, how do you encourage someone to say you got to get out there and get on social media? Is social media like the end all? What is it? What is it to get yourself out there?
When I talk about 7 ways to get speaking engagements, the first thing I say is book yourself.
Yeah.
And I mean that with puns and everything else. Book yourself. You have to let people know. I talk about like if when I was pregnant, people knew the baby was coming because they saw the progress, right? What happens is people just show up with something and you're like, where'd that come from? And they're going, this is my baby. How? So that's what I'm saying. You should be speaking about it, not only online, but have you cultivated a list? This is business 101. You need a list of people who want to hear from you. Right. I have email lists. I have text marketing lists. I host online events. I go live and I talk about subjects and then people come. And once you help somebody, they bring other people back, just like the woman at the well. Look, he told me some stuff and I think he can do the same thing for you. So the bottom line is if you don't help people and you don't put yourself out there, then what do you expect? When I go live, it's not about what do I weigh? Is my face beat? Is my hair great? It really is about who can I help today?
Yeah.
So if you shift that to serving instead of being self-conscious about it, then I'm a wordsmith, but guess what? Sometimes I mess up my words and I'll laugh. That doesn't mean I can't go live anymore. Sometimes I'm not cute, which means that I'm sweating, my hair's all over the place, and people tune in and they watch me work out.
Right.
You know, so it's the authenticity and the relatability that people are looking for from you. So get started.
Love it. So, wow, that just hit me too.
or restart.
Listen, Jesus, he is popping me all upside my daggone head. I love this though. I absolutely love this. So you have one that's on the way, and then we're waiting for East Formula.
Yes. Money on the Books is spring. And then the East Formula I'm writing. I have a writing challenge. I do it every year. March into publishing.
Yes, she does.
So that's when the East Formula will be constructed.
All right. So now Money on the Books what is that about?
Okay. Remember what I said? I always publish what people ask for.
Right.
I don't have any money. So I'm literally outlining ways that authors can create cash for their publishing projects.
Yeah. See how she did that? See that?
If
Demand.
People keep asking you for it. It's probably a book or a business.
Yes, I love this. People that are asking for it is probably a book or some. Come on in here, y'all. You know
Yeah,
how many ways there is to make money? She
that's
just
and so
said
I
she's
outline
saying it.
and I've helped. I have cases. I've helped authors do it. And this is the thing. Some of them said, you know what? It wasn't until I actually did what you taught me that the money started coming in.
See, come on, come on in here.
It's not about your. It is the shift of the mentality, and then
It
you will see
is.
people that you did not even expect will invest, and you'll go, oh my gosh. Or talents that you have not tapped into. The next thing you know, you leaving your job because you just didn't
Come
even
on
understand
in
there was such a
here.
demand on it.
Come on in here. Now, I want to go back a little bit to the young lady that said, "I don't have the money."
Mm-hmm.
I remember you sharing. I hope you can remember it. I remember you sharing something connected to that where you were able to raise money doing something.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, it was amazing. I'm so mad I can't think of it right now. Do you know what I'm
I-
talking about?
oh, of course. Okay,
Okay,
so
share.
this was the dance company thing. Okay, so
Yes.
what happened was I had rain dance, and I believe that when you teach people something, you don't always have to be in the front of the class. So, in other words, I was speaking at an event that my company was dancing at. During this speaking, one of the pastor or prophet of the house said, "You're going to South Africa." And so, when people tell you something, you're like, "Yay! One day." 2 weeks later, I
Oh,
went by myself to speak at an event. My team wasn't with me. I spoke. It was a dance conference. And they asked me at the last minute, I already knew what workshops I was going to teach, but they asked me at the last minute, Rekesha, can you get up and do the solo piece? And I'm thinking, you want me to look crazy because I didn't have a chance to prepare. Long story short, I was obedient. I was selling my book, Company Keepers, Dance Ministry Daily, and For This Cause I Bow My Knees. I had those two books on the table. This person walks up to me and he says, I'm Minister Neville from South Africa. We want to bring you and your team to South Africa.
school me. You were like, school me.
He said, no, in October. It gave us 2.5 months. When we found out the total, it was $3,600 per person. And it was 9 of us. And I said, okay, God, this is not about what's in my bank account.
Come on.
I am Rekesha Pittman and I am turning talents into treasure. I said, you tell me what you can do. People sold flower pins. They did everything. Every event that I had, I made my whole team set up vendor booths because I'm an entrepreneur, baby. They set up vendor booths. Do you know that we raised over $25,000?
Come on.
How much people had never left the country, going to South Africa for the first time, fully paid for. We, me included, raised so much money. We were able to overflow
Come
into other
on.
and people on our team who are not going financially contributed to getting the team there. You talk about teamwork.
Come
That
on.
changed forever. If we could raise $25,000+ in 2.5 months, my fear was gone. I said, "Oh, if we do this," and what I've learned too is that sometimes we think because it worked last time, it'll work next time. No,
Right.
I learned how. Okay, I know what you did before, but let me pray for a strategy. So I always ask when I need something. I always say, "What exactly do you need me to do?" He'll
Come
give us strategy.
on.
But you think because you sold t-shirts last time, you're gonna sell t-shirts next time. Because you sold hot dogs last time, it's going to work this time. No, you always have to say, what is the method for this?
Love
It
that.
worked. People gave, we danced, we did everything. All that money added up, and baby, the pictures are still on my Facebook. Day 1, day 2,
Love it.
part 3. We were in South Africa for 12 days.
Come
And
on.
it changed their lives forever.
Yes. I love that. That was the one. That was the
Yeah.
one.
The next
I
time we
was
went
like,
out of town,
wow.
I took my whole team. So remember, the first time it was 9. Next time it was 18, and we all went to the Bahamas. Every
Look at
single
God.
last person went to the Bahamas, paid in full.
Love it. Y'all, are y'all hearing this? You know, we listen. We will find an excuse. We will find an excuse not to do what we're supposed to do, and the enemy will let us. She just told you God made a move, and she was obedient, and He made it work. Where 9 people came, and then it was the whole team that next time. Listen, you gotta push through and do what thus save the Lord. If He's tugging on you, you gotta make moves. It could be somebody's life. Your book can mean someone's life.
So
Amen.
find someone who knows what they're doing and allow them to train you. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Be willing. If you don't know, be willing to follow somebody who can show you. Jesus said, greater works shall you do. He taught them how to do what he did. And we forget that model. in the faith base. Like, oh, we are supposed to learn and then go do it. And to be able to do it right.
Do it right. Love it. Love it. WRITENRIGHT.
That's what I said.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, what do you say? Because I see people, all the time, and we've experienced it. Me and my husband have talked about it. Well, I talk about it to him. When people act as though it's like me. I don't want to share because you might do it better than me. What do you say to people who have that kind of nonsense going on? It's a lot, because it's a lot of that going on. It's annoying to watch. It's weird. What is that about?
But that's not the spirit of Christ, first of all.
Say it.
And I think that it is very much a stingy, selfish spirit. Now, I understand people not wanting competition, so to speak. And this is what I'll say to that. Just because you learn a technique doesn't make you a master of it. And I think that's where people get it wrong. They feel like, I'm gonna learn this and do it, but that's not we call it your anointing. That's not your grace. You're not effective in that area. So just because you know how to do it doesn't mean it's your major, right? When I went to school, I took classes that wasn't my major, but I needed that information to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. And I don't mind if people who learn from me get into the industry, but can I be honest? Several people who I see teaching people didn't finish my class.
Come on in here.
I hate to say it, or they weren't a good student, or they saw me, and then I know that they come to me for advice, and then they're teaching people, and I'm like, but you don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. And so it's not competition. It really is malpractice.
Come on and say that.
What the concern is, because if you don't know how to do it, how are you telling anybody that you're going to help them? And I'm the one who helps you.
Mm-hmm. I said it when I came on. So I ain't playing with this thing. I will not be the name tapped on something that's some bootleggery and me up there to myself. Yeah, because I publish, no, I don't.
Right.
But you go to the one who know what she's doing.
But if you can
go to what is teaching me.
I applaud you if you can do it well. I just have a problem with the people who do it not so well, trying to show other people the mediocrity. That's what concerns me. But then again, people will follow anything. So you really have to check in yourself to say, what is it that I want to represent? And then, make that move.
Make that move. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love this. Oh my gosh. It's such a blessing. I can't. I'm telling you right now, y'all can mark my little words. 2 books coming. 2 books coming. We said 2. We said 2. We are speaking 2. We are speaking 2. And I'm so excited about it. And this is so much confirmation for me. Just this since I started podcasting, God has been speaking about certain things. A lot of it's been connected to books. And so I'm like, I have to get Rekesha on, because I'm not playing with this thing. And too many people have come to me. I need the one who's birthing out these books, these real books, not the bootleggery, to come on and bless the people, but, also, share her heart. This is a heart thing, telling yourself, I know I could get over on people, and then saying, oh, I can't do that. I would not dare. I'm not touching that.
Something that you said, what was
a character.
I thought about, because I think that things should also be in reach, because there are people who can read it and apply it, right? So even in the books, and even in the university and the publishing, this is something coming for this year that you reminded me about, is I said, I have a unique anointing for faith-based. So Get Right Church, I am revising and revamping and releasing as a partner program for churches that I can come in for a weekend. That's it. Let me give you that spiritual injection, and then the book and step-by-step video instruction, because I can't teach all of it to you in a weekend, but me coming there will definitely crank the vehicle. Ignite, and then say, and then here are all of your tools. And pastors, leaders, even if it's not you, your executive assistant or your creative team can take this information and produce your books.
Yeah.
Because it really is about making disciples. It's not about everybody come to me. That it's not possible.
Right.
But if I can give them a program where they say, I got it, and now I can put my staff on this job, we can get more books done. Because really, it's like, in the Lord's eyes, Whose fruit is it?
Come on. Come on. Come on. Ooh.
I'm saying.
I love this, y'all. I love this. I know people gonna be hitting my line later on. Like, I heard a little bit. I was at work trying to sneak, but woo! I'm like, yeah, go get right. Thank me later. Okay, go get
In
right.
every
Thank me later.
way.
Cause oh
However,
my
however.
goodness, yeah. Cause I'm telling you, once the seed is planted, it is going to do this. It's going to do this, and it's why I love, like you said, and like I was saying to you that I don't even know if you really truly understand how effective you are and what you've done for so many people. And like I said, I tell people all the time, I'm like, yeah, I be thinking I be being deep, but I be knowing what I'm saying. I'm like, my life has not been the same since I encountered A, B, and C. I've always been a dancer, but as God started to move in our church ministry and he's taking us levels, I would have never met Miss Rekesha Pittman if I didn't go to that dance, if I wasn't obedient saying, we got to get to Texas, we got to be there. Like, our dance leader saying, you want to experience this thing. And it's like, it was like magnetic. It was like magnetic. It was time. It was time. And I love that you said, some of you may be sitting on books that, it may be out of season. That means you have to let that thing go.
Yes.
Amen. Let that thing go. Move on. Get back to writing. Get back into your zone. Whatever you need to do to get back to this thing, because what you're writing and what you're doing is for someone else
Mm-hmm.
in a manner that you don't even see. You don't even know. You have no idea, what is going to happen, what is going to transpire from you being obedient writing that book. Amen. So listen, y'all better catch this thing. Y'all better catch this thing. Oh my gosh. Listen, I already see I'm gonna be journaling tonight just about this episode. But we have my memory is awful. Pray for me with that. We have the book coming this spring.
Mm-hmm.
We have East Formula.
Yes.
And personally, it doesn't have to be personally. What else is there to come for Miss Rekesha Pittman that we should be looking for?
Oh gosh, just I am fine. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest.
Yeah, you are.
I love teaching and training, but I also say because of what I do, I feel like some of my work hasn't gotten the attention
Come on.
that it needed, because I'm constantly helping everybody else. And so this is also a season where I give myself time and as an author brand to push the work that I do, which is why I said, let me go. And if I can do group training sessions, that gives me time to work on
Yeah.
Rekesha's work,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why I'm like, oh, I'm helping you with this book and I help you with that book, and so hence, oh, mine keeps getting pushed to the back. It's like you have to take care of your own children.
Yeah.
You take care of someone else's, so you will see me a little bit more talking about my own work. And even being the midwife to over 500 authors worldwide, I've downplayed my effect because I felt like, oh, I'm not competing with anyone else. But there are people who haven't even touched that at all,
Come
who are writing.
on.
And I'm like,
Come on, Rekesha.
okay, so I'm learning. I'm learning how to stand or to sit in that success, not brag about it, but to enjoy it, because I'm that one who keeps winning and winning and winning. But what about the celebration?
Come on.
Don't forget to celebrate. That's what happens. That's how you get burned out. You keep going from shot to shot to shot, and you forget that there was a time to celebrate. And so I want to celebrate for a moment and allow my work to get the attention that I feel that it deserves. Because from the moment I started writing, people were like, help me, help me, help me.
Right. Oh my goodness. No, it makes sense though. It makes sense.
And I
It
will help
absolutely
you, and
does.
I'll help me too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's time. Absolutely. So what are some of the things that Rekesha finds herself doing just to say, I gotta bring it down now. I'm loving that, I'm helping this one, I'm doing this, and this is happening and this is flourishing. What are some of the things you do to just bring it down and say, okay, it's time to just
Yes, one of the things I'm reinstituting, and I'll say that is one of the things that grounded me and focused me every year was a personal vacation. I know that's scary, and as that is scary for some people because you're like, oh, my spouse or oh, my partner. Listen,
Come on.
if you are with the right person, you're not out there doing anything you're not supposed to do. But I would
Okay.
literally, I have something, I don't have it in front of me, it's in my shelf, but it's called the goal mine. And every year I would do a, like, you know how you have a performance evaluation at work? I do a
Mhm.
self evaluation of my performance as
All right.
a coach, trainer, relationships, friendships, finances. And I go through every single section of my life and I make a plan and assess, did I keep my word to myself? And what do I need to do to go to the next level? So immediately it grounds me, it helps me to plan for the future. So that is definitely something I recommend. And it doesn't have to be far. It's just a place where you can go and turn off everything else.
So is that like something you do like monthly? Because that sounds like something I need to be doing. That
At
child, that
least
hit me here.
at least annually. At least annually. And some people do it
Hmm.
quarterly, but it depends on the demand on your life. I will say that. If you have a huge demand on your life from people, you might, Jesus did it. Remember when
Hmm.
he went and got away? And even
Hmm.
when three went with him, he still was
You
like,
still.
oh,
Hmm.
it's right there. So it's
Yeah.
something where you need to go to a place where you can really hear, you can see, and like I will go to places and do things that I don't have to ask anyone else what you wanted.
Hmm.
What
Oh,
do
love that.
that I can go eat where I want to eat, watch what I want to watch, look at what I want to look at, and feel refreshed so that when I come back to helping everyone else, I have refueled.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I love that because you know what I thought about, and I keep seeing it. You know, people post about being a strong black woman. I said y'all gotta stop saying strong black woman. You're tired, okay?
War
You're
out.
exhausted, okay? You look crazy with this whole stamping on your forehead. I'm a strong black woman. Girl, you look
Right.
crazy. You are
Falling
beat
out.
down.
Mhm.
That is not normal. So we have to stop, stamping these titles on things that are toxic, that are hurting us. You got to stop. Listen, that sounds like another book as far as I'm concerned. What you
It
talking about?
does.
That
There is
sounds
a
like another
scripture
book.
that says, "Do not overwork to be rich." Literally,
Yeah.
but we teach this hustle culture, this
Hmm.
this this by any means necessary, even if it means premature death.
No sleep.
Right? You are neglecting your health, you're
Yeah.
neglecting your well-being, you're not taking care of yourself, and then we wonder why you lost it or what
Yeah.
happened to you. You
Mhm.
didn't have any fuel.
Yeah. Absolutely. Come on and help somebody. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
So
a
that
process
listen.
of success.
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, listen, that sounds like a book to me. You could, because honestly, if you're constantly going, like you said, you actually, some people just really don't know how, to bring it down. They, even when they go on vacation, they're still doing stuff. So to me, that sounds like another book. I'm just putting it out there. That
Yes.
sounds like it'd be another book to help somebody, to go and refuel.
And
That could be the name of the book, refuel.
some people are conditioned only to be needed. I think they
Yeah.
don't know what to do with themselves.
Hmm.
People say, "I don't know what to do with it." No, literally, you don't know what to
Yeah,
do with yourself.
busybody. Hmm.
Right, because from the time, depending on your, I mean, I'm the oldest of my
Hmm.
siblings. That right there has framed a lot of my life
Right.
in terms of me, my responsibility and leadership and all of that stuff. And I'm not saying I'm getting into birthing orders, but depending on how you were raised and the expectations put on you can shape a lot of things that you do in your life.
Absolutely. 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 That was good. Absolutely. Wow. 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 I'm like, oh God, this was so amazing. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I know you're a very busy woman. I know you could be doing other things, and you accepted my little invitation. So I do not take it lightly. My prayer is that you continue, to pour into people. You continue to also get the refuel,
Yeah.
get what you need, but you continue to be bold in all that God has placed for you, because it's working, and it's effective, and it's changing the world. I'm going to say that it's changing the world. I pray that soon, you will get to that place where you're like, finally, I'm getting the celebrations and the accolades that I deserve because I have put in so much. I have given so much of myself. My daughter had to see me, go through certain things, even taken away from her at times and made me feels a certain type of way, but it was for the greater good. And she was able to see her mom in this light to understand these are things mom has to do is bigger than us. But look at what I've imparted in you and look at who I am for you. So, thank you. Thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Tell people where they can find you, find your books and everything. Let them know.
Absolutely. So, of course, on social media, I'm Rekesha Pittman, Rekesha Pittman with two T's. And on Amazon, same thing. If you enter Rekesha Pittman, my books will come up.
Awesome.
Any of the books that I have published is there, not only in paperback, but in Kindle format as well. So I would love to connect with you. Come visit me. I actually respond to my messages.
She does.
And definitely grab any book that will help you get to your goal.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Miss Rekesha Pittman, everybody. And she's out there. You're still in Texas, right?
Yes, I am.
She's in Texas. Listen, Texas is popping.
It
Texas is
is.
doing them. Y'all better pay attention. Y'all need
Texas,
to pay attention.
Texas is beautiful, gorgeous,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't handle ice. We can't handle ice and snow.
She said, "Keep it up north. Thank you very much. God
No,
bless
no,
you.
no,
We
no.
good. We good on the
No,
we
no.
good on the snow."
Other than that, it is one of the most. It is the most beautiful place I have lived in. I love California. I'm a California girl,
Right?
but
What?
Texas is definitely an abundant
Mm-hmm.
place to be.
Yeah, and opportunities. Like, I
Yeah.
felt that was my first time coming to Texas. And I felt like, you could do great things here. It was just energy. Does that make any
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
It really was.
Absolutely.
It was
Yes.
energy. Yeah, it was great. It
Yes.
was
You
great.
always see things building. You see progress everywhere. That's one
Yeah.
thing I can say. Environment does make the difference.
Environment. Thank you for tapping into that subject as well, because it really is so important, your environment, and how, it shapes and molds your mindset, and you're thinking about, people around you, things around you, yourself, being an author, writing and things is not easy. So you want to be around positive energy. You want to be around, things that will bring it out of you. So thank you so much for coming on Hot Mic with Lady Sheep podcast. If you had anything to leave us with, what would that be? And we can close.
Don't say what you are not. Say what you are becoming. So don't say, I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. You are. And here's my encouragement to you. You don't have to be the best. I use technology even to do some of my work. So use the tools that you have. You don't have to arrive at the destination the same way. Well, you can take a train, you can take a car, you can take a plane, you can take a jet, but you can still get there. And do not feel like you can't get there because your mode of getting there is different. But you still have to have the directions to arrive. So go ahead and get your directions and get to your destination. Get right. WRITE.
Yes. Love it, love it, love it. Miss Rekesha Pittman, everybody. Be sure to go to her website, rekeshapittman.com. Please Google whatever you got to do. Search her, Get Right Publishing, Eagles
Yes,
Institute.
all
Just punch her name in and it's all gonna come up there because she's the real deal, as she calls herself, and we all call her the book midwife, or the midwife of
yes.
authorship. Thank you so, so much for coming on How Michael Lady She podcast. Continue to pray for me as I move in what God is doing. It's been a journey, and this is the reason why I know God has me doing this. I know it's Him speaking. So, continue to be unapologetically who you are. You're needed at this time, because I know for sure with the pandemic coming on and people not working and stuff, they're writing.
Yes.
So we want them to get right. We don't want no bootleggery going on here.
Don't
All
do it to
right?
yourself. Don't
Don't
do
do it. Finish
it.
her course, okay? Finish strong. Finish the actual course. Don't be out here doing no crazy stuff. Tomorrow, I could do this and I could do that, and you ain't finished the course. You need all the ingredients, to have that sauce tasting the way it's supposed to. So don't play with it. Don't play with yourself, and don't play with other people. Once again, thank you so much, Rekesha Pittman, for coming on How Michael Lady She podcast. You will have this episode will be loading momentarily. And share, like, subscribe, comment, whatever you need to do, and make sure you tap into Get Right Publishing and get right. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Have a good evening, everyone. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. All right. Later.